Does he get bonus points for being the shortest and the sweetest? So.
It depends on who you ask. If you ask any of their girlfriends, you never want to be the shortest, but some girlfriends definitely want the sweetest. So we'll see how it goes from there. So with that said, everyone is here in the ring.
Turn. Just
that's how. Hey, welcome to a show hosted by Henry. I mean, what else would you expect?
Dude, dope, man. That's a great idea.
That's what I'm talking about. Add a little variety. So with that said, I am Henry Confidential. That is Sandy the Sandman Robinson, and we are hosting the quote-unquote final match of this second There Will Be Trivia tournament called Total Recall. And if you guys are not familiar with how we're doing things, unfortunately we had a dropout from our semifinals match. So instead of automatically pushing someone to the finals or just kind of bringing someone who already lost and giving them a second chance unfairly, I decided to make a triple threat match between the three players, and the winner of this triple threat match, so the round one match, is going to automatically advance to the finals, and the two losers, jarring a crazy knockout, is going to get a second chance to play each other to go into the finals. So in this video, you are actually going to see three matches. So we're not going to have a lot of fluff going on. We're going to get pretty much right into it because it's going to be a longer video. But real quick, I will say, Sandy, how do you feel about this concept and knowing the new rules of what we're doing for this format?
Dude, I love it, man. I love it when I love it when people come up with different ways to play essentially the same game. And this is great. A couple of others there that have changed things up and done some interesting things that I find awesome as well. But this is really, really cool. I'm bummed out because I think Max knocked me out. I think I scored like 1 point in like 25. So I feel bad that I'm not in this, but there's always next time. It's going to be a great match. Whoever comes out of this, I just wish you would have told me that Michaels was going to. I mean, that guy's on my blast. Fuck, I love Brian. He's
yeah, that's why I didn't tell you until the last minute. So with that said, we have Malcolm versus Max versus Brian. We're gonna go ahead and let them introduce themselves and talk a little bit, and then we're gonna get right into the match.
Yeah. So I mean, this is going to be fun. I took out some tough competitors to get here. Like I took out Russell. I can't remember who took out first match, but I'm up against Brian. Brian is someone who I've never had a chance to play before. It's fun. Max is someone that I defeated in the first tournament. So yeah.
Yeah, so I'm here in Henry's tournament. He asked me if I wanted to play here. I said I cannot take any more prepping for trivia. And he said, this is a no prep game, which is perfect. That's the kind of thing I love because I can just show up and answer some questions. So here I am. I guess now it's a triple threat and then a semifinal and a final. I don't know, man. I just show up when he tells me to show up. We'll see how it goes.
Hi, I'm here. I made it. Who knows what the future holds?
Does he get bonus points for being the shortest and the sweetest? So.
It depends on who you ask. If you ask any of their girlfriends, you never want to be the shortest, but some girlfriends definitely want the sweetest. So we'll see how it goes from there. So with that said, everyone is here in the ring.
Turn. Just
that's how. Hey, welcome to a show hosted by Henry. I mean, what else would you expect? So with that said, just a reminder, Sandy, the document we're going to look at is going to be the second portion, so match 2. So it's luckily based on this, I had it written for all three players because I don't know who's going to get knocked out in round 1. So all three matches are written as if it's 3 players, so it's not a big deal. Nice. So this is the one time that I'll do a low-key round introduction of what the rules are. Round 1 is actually going to be format. This whole match is going to be format based. Round 1 is going to be. It's called It's Between Two because I have a lot of fun when I watch matches, or even myself when I played match where I'm like, it's the other one, or it's between two. So how could I formulate a round and a format to kind of implement that? And I'm writing questions that are either going to be true or false based, or this or that. So we're going to ask a question that is going to, no matter what, have only 2 options, and they will know their options and they can pick. Whiteboard based, 1 point a question. So with that said, there are going to be 6 questions from this. I will read 1, and then Sandy, you can read 2, and we'll rotate from there. Ready to go?
Beauty.
Yep.
Right,
Always.
Question number 1. Mystic Pizza was the actorial debut of Matt Damon or Vincent D'Onofrio?
I like both of these actors.
Depending on whose debut it was, I like one of them earlier or later because they got better. So it depends on who started off earlier and who started off later, because that's how it goes. We all get better with time. If you watch any of my YouTube videos from back in the day, I wouldn't say it was complete garbage, but I've definitely improved in just my personality on screen. So if you hated me then, you'll probably still hate me now, but maybe I'll at least be a little more enjoyable and tolerable to watch. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Malcolm.
Matt Damon.
Brian?
Matt Damon.
I knew he was going to do it. And Max.
I'm the only one that wrote Vincent D'Onofrio, I guess.
And unfortunately, you're the only one to get it wrong. Matt Damon is in fact correct.
Of course.
There's a tiny little boy in that movie.
A wee little lad.
All right, guys, your second question, and it's between two. Dredd's screenplay was co-written by which director? Alex Garland or Ryan Johnson?
Now,
As long as Ryan Johnson is not associated with the Star Wars movie, I am okay.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask.
What are
I'm
you
glad that,
talking about?
Oh yeah, we're not gonna get into that discussion right now. This is not a debate show. This is trivia.
Nope.
5, 4,
We don't have the time.
3, 2. We do not have the time. We got to go through 3 matches. Brian, we'll start with you.
Alex Garland.
And Malcolm. I went backwards on that.
Alex Garland.
And Max.
Alex Garland.
Oh, I thought you were going to be different again. That is correct, Alex
No,
Garland.
because it's not. Ryan Johnson didn't write that screenplay.
Well, apparently because we confirmed that I was correct. Question number 3. What is the name of the carnival in Freaked? Is it Freakland or Freak Island? See, this is what I was talking about behind the scenes. The questions might technically be a little harder in this format, but since I'm giving you 2 options, I think that's fair. We can ask some interesting questions that technically might be a little hard, but we're giving you a 50-50 shot. You know what I mean? So you can complain about the severity of the questions, but you also have a 50-50 shot, so it is what it is. Thought it'd be fun.
I'm just, the only thing I care about that question is that I wouldn't go to either one of those places ever. Like, never.
That's actually the other name of my house. 5, 4, 3, 2.
Repeat the question.
An actual repeat or time extension?
An actual repeat.
Okay. What is the name of the carnival in Freaked? Is it Freak Land or Freak Island? And that is just a reminder, we haven't uploaded a match in a little bit just due to scheduling conflicts. If you need an actual repeat of the question, go ahead and ask for a repeat, and I'll repeat it, whether it's because you didn't understand it or because technical difficulties. But if you just need a little more time to write your answer or to think, go ahead and just ask for a time extension. We have the difference there. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Max.
Freakland?
And Malcolm.
Freak Island.
And Brian.
Freakland.
It is Freak Land. So 2 out of 3, once again, getting that right. Isn't that tough when there's a 50-50 shot and not everyone gets it? You're like, man, it's so close.
I'm just glad to have a freak question.
I pander to my audience. No, I'm just kidding.
Did Malcolm get that right?
Malcolm's the only one who didn't.
Didn't, right.
So right now we're looking at 3 points for Brian and then 2 for each of Max and Malcolm.
Yep.
Go ahead and hit
All right, guys. Question number 4. Oh, I like this one. True or false? James Stewart played a doctor in Anatomy of a Murder. I'm just going to go back to the last question here, Henry.
Yeah.
I think I probably, if I had to, I would go to Freak Land just because you're on land and you can escape. As long as you're not dumb, like in a Friday the 13th movie, and just do circles so he catches you in the end. You just run, follow the road, and go. Freak Island, there could be sharks and piranhas and all kinds of crap. That's just no good.
Isn't Freak Island the name of that Blumhouse movie that came out last year, right before quarantine? No,
No.
Fantasy.
Fantasy
Island.
5,
The island.
4, 3.
And it was
2.
not like TV show.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. Malcolm,
You did
what'd
not.
you get? I did enjoy it.
True.
And Brian?
False?
And Max?
I think it's false.
I think it is false.
It is false.
Oh, great.
He played a lawyer,
A lawyer.
but he did show someone his anatomy. The next question.
Mm,
The
yeah.
Conjuring 2
Oof.
came out in 2015 or 2016?
Technical repeat.
He's giving a
Yes. The Conjuring 2 was released in 2015 or 2016? Fun stuff. The new Conjuring is coming out, and I know Sandy is a huge
I'm
fan
seeing
of
it.
horror
I
movies.
saw it.
Oh.
Yeah, I
Thumbs
saw
up
it
or
last
thumbs
Friday.
down?
I can't say I haven't. There's an embargo.
You can't even say thumbs up or thumbs down? 5.
There's an embargo.
Well, maybe if you stretch and where your thumb is, you didn't do it purposely. 3,
Wait, hold on.
2, 1.
Okay.
Malcolm, what'd you get?
2016.
Brian
16.
and Max.
I'm not even sure if I was allowed to say it to say my appreciation of the new Conjuring movie, but 2016.
Hey, if you get in trouble for it, that means someone who in the right place saw this video, and honestly, that's worth it for me. So if you saw my viral video on my
So
Henry
screw
Confidential
you, Max.
channel,
It's all about Henry.
I got someone fired for that video, and that video's got 400,000 views. So I mean, who's really winning here? Question 6.
All right, guys. Your final question in It's Between Two is, which of these comedic actors was in Anaconda? Owen Wilson or Vince Vaughn? I know which one I would have liked to have been in this one.
Well, it is between two.
I know.
That's how we roll. That's something with writing questions. I like to emphasize comedic actor versus comedian, because sometimes you'll see in a question comedian, so then your mind automatically goes to stand up, and then it's comedic actor. So those are little things like that where I'm like, I just like when I write questions, I'm like, I would just want to 100%. I don't deal with challenges. That's always my goal. Is no blank boards and ideally no challenges. So that's something that's fun for me. 5, 4,
Take it.
3, 2, 1. Mr. Titanic.
I'm so jealous you got to make out with Kari Wurr. Owen Wilson.
And Max.
Wow. I don't know. I wrote Vince Vaughn.
And Malcolm.
Wow. Owen Wilson.
Malcolm doing an impression. Now you know we're in trouble. All right, so after round 1, Brian has a perfect round, which doesn't mean shit. And then Malcolm and Max are tied at 4. So overall, it's a great game, and I'm excited to introduce round 2. So as I inferred in round 1, I like to kind of implement things that have gone around in the fan leagues. I've been part of it for years, essentially since the foundation of them all. So one of the things that I loved doing when we did test questions was locking something in. So we would ask the round 2 questions with the multiple choice available, but if you wanted to answer the question for quote-unquote 2 points or street cred, you can lock in. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to ask you 6 questions that are going to be worth 2 points if you lock in. If you don't lock in, you want to hear the multiple choice, you can hear the multiple choice. And obviously, let's have some integrity. If you locked in, keep your board up, all that stuff. We're not going to, mess with any of that stuff, and we're going to go from there. So, with that said, 6 questions. I'll actually let Sandy read the first one.
Awesome. All right, guys, your first question locked in for 2 points. What is the name of the ship in Sunshine?
A lot of S's there.
Oh, that's what I would.
Yeah, exactly. So, just a reminder, if anyone wants to lock in, write your answer down, say you're locked in, and then just keep your board up the entire time. If not, when the countdown goes, then we're just going to go to multiple choice. So, it's kind of...
I'll wait for multiple.
All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, Sandy, go ahead and read the multiple choice for all 3 questions.
All right. Your multiple choice options are A, Artemis, B, Poseidon, C, Icarus, or D, Hestia. Love all the Greek references.
You know what I mean? Sometimes that's just how we roll. You know what I mean? I felt real mythological when I was writing this question. You know what I mean? Because I am myself a statue, because I'm really boring, and that's most all it is to it. So, 5, 4, 3, 2. If you can't riff on yourself, then what are you doing? 1.
Right.
Malcolm, what did you get?
C. Icarus.
Brian
C. Icarus.
and Max.
I'm the only one that wrote Artemis.
And you know what that means. You're the only one that didn't get it right. Icarus is in fact correct.
And you know what that means? You suck.
Question
It's the only one that really. It's the only one that makes sense of the Greek references and stuff. So.
I was afraid it was 2 on the nose. I was like, is this right? I don't know.
Yeah.
Question
I love
number
that.
2. It's
I love that,
it's
Max.
meant to be Total Recall. It should be easy because sometimes you need a trigger. Be like, oh, that's what it is. Question
Nice.
number 2. Ken ironically stops Ray from killing himself at what kind of location in Bruges? So spoiler, we're not looking for the answer Bruges. So within Bruges. I don't want a Michael Campbell situation here where I was like, in Ponyo, what is Ponyo? And he said a character in the movie? Calm down. Can we not do that right now? I thought he was trolling, but he legit challenged. I was like, oh my god. So I try to avoid all that stuff if possible. Like, nope, people want to get too semantic. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So no one's locked in?
I wrote down an answer, but I don't trust myself, so I'm not locked in.
All right, he did not lock it in, so he's not eligible for 2 points. All right.
Correct.
Is it A, park, B, bell tower, C, church, or D, the bathroom? I don't really have a way to riff off this question for A, not giving it away, or B, being too dark given the contents of the question. So we're just going to let them sit in silence on this one, Sandy. I'm just going to have to just take that L. Or avoid taking the L, I should say. 5.
Avoid the L, man.
3, 2, 1. Brian, A, did you stick with what you wrote down? And B, what was it?
I had written playground. I believe it's a park.
Okay, and Max?
A park.
And Malcolm?
I'm probably the only one that got it wrong, then I'll put bathroom.
Man, you love sticking with the theme. And we would have, in fact, accepted playground for the record. So.
Okay, I wasn't sure.
All right, before we even get into the next question, Malcolm, awesome, because I was hoping somebody was going to pick bathroom, because I think that would have been awesome for what this is in the movie. If it happened in a bathroom stall, that would have been fantastic.
I was going to say,
So-
it would only be on the shitter. Like, there's no way to off yourself other than in the shitter if you're in the bathroom. Like, that's the place to do it.
All right, guys, your third question. Remember, if you're locking in, it's 2 points. If you need to go to multiple, it's just 1. Your third question is, what kind of symbol is painted on Snake when he is forced to fight in Escape from New York? This is a great question.
See, that's another one where it's like, I'm giving everyone an equal opportunity for it's technically a hard question, but you have multiple choice at your hands, and it's on an equal basis, so, you know, kind of going swinging. And these are technically championship level questions, so I figured I'd bump it up a little bit to add a little stakes. So, and I don't like my steaks well done. On my birthday, I ordered a steak medium. My dad ordered a steak medium. Mine was well done. His was medium. I was salty. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, nobody locked in, so read them their multiple choice.
All right, guys. Unfortunately, you guys needed to go to multiple choice for this one. A, smiley face. B, question mark. C, exclamation point. Or D, the middle finger. You know, the bird.
Some people do it this way, so, you know,
That's true, yeah.
I actually just graduated to thumb out within the last couple weeks, so I don't know if that's actually a graduation or a demotion. So comment below if I've upgraded or downgraded by putting in out the thumb. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Max, what did he have on him?
A smiley face.
All right, and Malcolm
I went middle finger.
and Brian.
I said question mark. B.
Brian stays perfect. It is in fact a question mark.
That was a total guess. I haven't seen that movie in decades.
Well, you're doing good.
I just watched it for fun a couple of days ago.
It's gone up on rewatch every time. The first time I watched it, I'm like, I don't really like this. Now it's flirting with the top 100. I love that movie.
Yep.
One of these days, I might watch it for the first time.
You know what you should have wrote, Malcolm, on your board? The bunny ears, because that's what you have painted on you every match. Question number 4. What college does Charlie go to in Scent of a Woman?
Nope.
Jesus.
Brian's like, thank God for multiple choice.
Right.
He's like, I still have a chance to stay perfect just because of the fact that you're giving me multiple choice. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. No lock-ins. All right.
Nope.
Is it A, Harvard, B, Stanford, C, Princeton, or D, MIT? What is your favorite college in Canada? Sandy.
Probably for me, because it's the province I grew up in, I'd say the University of British Columbia, and I went there for 2 semesters.
Do they just call it UBC or what?
University of British Columbia.
So they just extend the entire words. Okay. People in America were lazy. We go IU or MSU or apparently in this question MIT. 5.
It's UBC. It's UBC.
I was just kidding. 3, 2, 1. Malcolm.
I'm going to be annoyed if this is the correct answer because I was going to bite this down just as a guess. Harvard?
Brian?
I said C. I'm wrong.
And Max.
I mean, it's the most cliched university. It's probably Harvard.
Once again, 2 are right and 1 is wrong. It is Harvard. But that also dips into the lead. So now we are currently looking at 8 to 6 to 6. So it is what they say in the streets, a barn burner.
Yup.
They're non-American.
All right, guys.
They're not.
Yeah. Question number 5. What object does Julianne Moore and Clive Owens split back and forth into each other, or spit back and forth into each other's mouth as a party trick in Children of Men?
I know that the fact that you read that and you're like, I'm sure that's a typo. Nope, that's exactly what happens. Now let's see
Exactly what it is.
What the object is.
I've seen that movie eons ago, and I don't
I don't
remember.
remember this.
I just recently
Just
had to watch
a
this
quick
movie
check.
too.
Wasn't that
Damn it.
9 points?
Is it?
You are at 9 points.
Okay.
Okay. Just want to double check that.
I erased.
It's
I
9.
I think I just watched a match where Boatman did the same thing where he like erased a mark on his board. I'm like, damn it, I just did it too. I jinxed myself. But yes, okay, 9 to 6 to 6. But yeah, they still dipped into the lead. 5, 4, 3, 2.
I'm not locked in. I wrote something down, but I'm not locked.
Okay. Here are your options, Sandy.
Your options are A, an egg, B, a bullet, C, a plastic bottle, or D, a ping pong ball.
Jesus Christ.
I once saw somebody do something really great with a ping pong ball at one point in time.
I've always seen someone do something crazy with a bullet, like in Hot Fuzz. Is it true that there's a bullet that if you hit the right point in their head, it explodes? And I've made eggs explodes, and I've popped the heads off plastic bottles. So there's a lot of fun you can do with all these. But which is the answer? We'll find out in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Max.
Ping pong ball. I don't know.
Malcolm.
I guessed A.
And Brian.
I guessed bullet.
It is a ping pong ball. The first time we've had 3 different answers. It was in fact a ping pong ball. Question number 6, their final question in round 2. Who directed Hunt for the Red October?
Locked.
Uh-oh, our first lock in the history of There Will Be Trivia for the locked in round.
There it is.
Oh,
And
Locked
of course,
in.
it's Michael's.
Ooh, we have 2 locked
it's
in.
now 2 locked in.
All right, I'm watching you guys.
Drastically change.
Don't change your answers. I'm just kidding. 5. We'll give Malcolm a 5 count. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, so you 2 are locked in. Malcolm, here are your multiple choice options. Is it A, Tony Scott, B, John McTiernan, C, James Cameron, or D, Roland Emmerich? So I can confirm that this was the first time this ever happened in an official match, and it went well. This is it worked perfectly.
So far.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Brian for 2 points.
John McTiernan.
And Max for 2 points.
John McTiernan.
And Malcolm for 1 point.
B. John McTiernan.
That is correct. All right, so everyone gets it right, but since it is a difference of values, Brian goes up to 11 points at the end of round 2. Max goes up to 9 points, and Malcolm is at 7. All right, time to do a description of round 3, and I decided, how can I implement harder questions, personalized questions, but still require no studying? I decided that I am going to check everyone's letterbox for that week. So, spoiler alert, you have to be active on letterbox, or you have to write me a list of what you watched that week, because I've already talked to some people that suck at letterbox, and we'll go from there. As long as they're not abusing the system, we'll see how it goes. With that said, I looked at your letterbox within the last week. So for this, because of how it went, writing as far back as May 23rd, so last Sunday technically, so 8 days. And I wrote a question worth of 1 point value, 2 point value, and 3 point value. And it's all going to be individualized. So you guys all know how it goes from here. The person who's at the bottom is going to go until they can keep bouncing it back and forth. So that is going to be Malcolm until he can force Max to answer questions, until potentially Brian can be forced to answer questions. So, Sandy, since you are my co-host here, I will let you ask Malcolm his 1 point question. And no whiteboards is needed, but if you want to use it for notes, you're more than welcome. And then obviously just make sure we see hands and all that stuff. So, Sandy, take it away for Malcolm.
Okay, Malcolm, your first question worth 1 point is, what airport is Tom Hanks stranded at in The Terminal? I got stranded at a bus station once.
JFK Airport.
Then we will give it to Malcolm for 1 point. JFK is fine. If there's no arguments from his competitors, then I don't have to look it up. So
No.
we were looking for specifically Kennedy, but JFK is something that apparently is okay. So, Malcolm, you get a point for 1. So, Sandy, ask him his 2-pointer to then force Max to answer a question if he gets it right.
All right, Malcolm, here's your 2 point question. What rapper plays Han Solo's uncle in That's My Boy?
And uncle is in quotes. It's not his real uncle. It's
Uncle's in quotes. That's right. Hard to do with my phone.
Yeah.
Uncle.
Common.
Unfortunately, the answer, Malcolm, that we were looking for was the VI, Vanilla Ice.
Oh, fuck.
Nice. What a response. I love it. All right,
so I guess that means we jump into
Malcolm's 3-pointer.
Malcolm's
Stick with
3-pointer.
But I will say at this point, it is confirmed that regardless of the result of this match, we will be going to the loser match. So there's going to be no knockouts. So that's confirmed at this point. It's far enough that no one needs to worry about, not guaranteed a second match. So go ahead, Sandy, take it away from Malcolm's 3.
Okay, so in a question that means absolutely nothing at all.
It can be the difference of a buy round and not.
That's right, I'm joking. All right, question number 3 for 3 points, Malcolm, is, what is Jeff Daniels' job in 101 Dalmatians? I just had this in a match of my own. This question in a match of my own.
I was going to say, I just asked this question.
That's right, I remember. That's right.
I'm going to go with music composer. That's probably wrong.
I'm sorry, you cut out there, Malcolm. What would you say?
Music composer.
That is usually the answer people most give, because that's what he was in the cartoon version of 101 Dalmatians. But in this version, he was a video game designer.
All right, so with that said, Malcolm is unfortunately eliminated for this match, so he doesn't have a guarantee into the championship, but he will receive a second chance, and he will be playing the loser of Brian and Max in this little showdown here. So Malcolm, you'll be sticking around for the next match, but for now, we're going to jump over to Max. And Max, your first point. And right now you have 8 points, so you have to get at least a total of 3 to bounce it over, so keep that in mind. Oh, no, I'm sorry, you're at 9 points. I was looking at...
You got 9 points, yeah.
You're at 9 points, so you have to hit 2 to at least force him to go to a question. Your first question. What is the first name of the real-life Pollock in Pollock?
Jackson.
That is correct. All right, so for 2 points, this is to officially take the lead and to not be TKO'd because, we don't want to give Brian that much credit. Question number 2. How old is David in AI?
Oh, shit. He's 7 years old.
That is unfortunately incorrect.
Yeah.
I just wanted to do a little research for a second. The answer I have written down is 11, so that is not the answer there. So you're going to have to hit your 3-pointer to force it over to Brian. If not, Brian will automatically advance to the finals, and then you will be playing Malcolm. So we'll cross that if it gets there. Max, for 3 points. Gordon Bombay is a lawyer from what state in the Mighty Ducks?
Shit, I watched this movie yesterday, and I can't even fucking remember. No,
I wrote it today because you watched it yesterday.
I know. I'm watching the second one after this.
Maybe you should rewatch the first one.
Is it Minnesota?
It is Minnesota, so Brian, you're going to have to at least answer a couple questions. All right, so
nice.
Max 13,
12.
Brian's at 11. So no matter what,
Gives him
Brian's
12.
going to...
No, 13.
Yeah, 13. So Brian's going to have to hit a couple here, or at least one 3-pointer. So
let's hope I didn't fake log anything for upcoming matches.
We'll see. Sandy, because you're my buddy and I respect you, I'll let you take these last 3 questions. Have at it.
Awesome. All right, Brian. Your first question for 1 point is who directed The Hangover?
Todd Phillips.
For 1 point. And now your 2-point question will officially win you the match. If you can guess, what sport does the family play in The Squid and the Whale?
Tennis.
And that is correct. Brian is going to be advancing to the finals, and we are going to do a double elimination match between Malcolm and Max right now. All right, and it's time for match 2. This is the, redemption match, loser bracket match, however you want to word it. I already described, all the logistics there. We just lost Sandy, but here is my good buddy Jake Cruikshank, formerly known as Jake and Bake, Crunk, Dank, Crunk, Getting Crunk. I don't exactly know what he was going for there. That was an inside joke, but now you will know him. He is Jake Cruikshank. So, Jake, real quick, how do you feel about hosting this match and reading off some questions that you wrote?
Pretty good. No, I'm very happy to, I like hanging out with a bunch of, you dorks who love movies as much as I do. And, it's a good time.
There you go. All right. And with that said, we can go ahead and get right into it. So, you guys all know the rules. You were just informed before with it, so we will get right into it. Jake, I will let you start off with question 1 because you wrote this question, and I wouldn't have anyone else read this but you. So, this is going to be your question, and then we'll rotate.
Oh, okay. Right. Are we ready?
Oh, yeah, we are ready.
Yep.
Are both competitors ready?
Yep.
Which 1960 Ingmar Bergman film served as the inspiration for Wes Craven's Last House on the Left? Was it The Devil's Eye or The Virgin Spring?
as we talked about in the last match. Some questions might be a little harder, but since we're giving you only 2 options, I feel like it's a fair game. And I think that was Jake's approach when he wrote this. Is that a safe assumption?
And maybe it'll inspire someone to check this one out.
Maybe. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Malcolm.
The Virgin Spring.
And Max.
A Virgin Spring.
That is correct. 1-1. All right, question number 2. Might be a little more known movie. Who directed The Town? Was it James Mangold or Ben Affleck? The competitor's like, why couldn't this been in round 2 where we could have locked in? Get 2 points for this one.
Because it's too easy, I guess.
Ooh. Max over here throwing shade at the question writer. Let's see if it's going to stay too easy with the next one. Easy. 5, 4. Little sympathy for our players every once in a while. 2, 1. Max, you got to get it right now.
I know. Ben Affleck.
And Malcolm.
I thought it was James Mangold.
Oh, guess it wasn't too easy. It was, in fact, Ben Affleck.
Well, we both owe Malcolm an apology now.
Yeah.
It's okay. It seems like a James Mangold movie. That's why I chose James Mangold.
Good choice. Question number 3. What do you got?
All right. For question number 3, which filmmaker coined the term MacGuffin for something that motivates the plot but is insignificant in itself? Was it Alfred Hitchcock or Steven Spielberg?
Now, traditionally speaking, this is a question that I technically wouldn't allow being written, but since we're given 2 options, I figured we'd bend the rules a little bit here because it's not specifically watch the movie based. It's more of a behind-the-scenes things, but hey, I threw Jake a bone here, so let's see if the liked it as much as he did. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Malcolm, of the 2 directors, which one do you have?
Alfred Hitchcock.
Some call him Fred. And Max.
I don't know. I wrote Steven Spielberg.
Oh, we have a tie game. It was, in fact, Freddie Hitchcock. Question number 4. Which prolific horror villain is played by Brad Dourif? Is it Pinhead or Chucky? Ethan Beller, big fan of one of these characters. Won't say which one, but shout out to him. I like that guy. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Max, are you a Pinhead or are you a Chucky?
Hi, I'm Chucky. You want to play? Bad impression right there.
It was top tier. I think you should get a call from the producers real soon. Malcolm.
Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play?
I would have gone more with the Ready Player One. It's fucking Chucky. Ready Player One is.
It's fucking Chucky.
Exactly. Jake, what do they got for question 5?
Alrighty. Which David Cronenberg film features Blondie's Debbie Harry as a BDSM enthusiast? Is it Videodrome or Naked Lunch?
Not gonna lie, if I would have heard this question, I would have broken my board. I'm like, what the hell? Because I haven't seen either of them, and I would be so confused on just the entire premise. And then especially if I was playing Max and I saw his reaction, like, hell yeah, I know this one. I'm like, fuck you, man. How do you know this? 5.
I know it because I know it.
I mean, I'll be careful how you hold your board because I could have looked at your board the way you're holding it before.
3, 2, 1. Malcolm.
Naked Lunch.
And Max.
Videodrome.
Videodrome is actually on my watch list for potentially tonight. So now that I've heard that this is part of the movie, I don't know if it's going to stay there. Question number 6.
It's a great movie.
What movie does Jake LaMotta quote into the mirror at the end of Raging Bull? Is it On the Waterfront or A Streetcar Named Desire?
Oh, shit.
For the record, this is the end of round 1. And I say, Jake, overall, you did pretty good with this one. I really like what we got. Some variety, some weirdness, and if you've known Jake as long as I have at this point, 2 weeks, that's what you're going to get. 5.
That's why you have new people writing questions.
3, 2, yeah, right. You have to implement a few rules, but generally speaking, you love the variety and the different perspectives. 2 and 1. Max.
On the waterfront?
And Malcolm.
On the waterfront.
I could have been a contender. That is correct. On the waterfront. 5-4 after round 1. Not bad there. So we all know how round 2 goes. It's locked in. So we're going to get some multiple choice potential questions here. So I will let Jake read number 1 again.
Which famous painter does Anthony Hopkins portray in James Ivory's 1996 film?
Just a reminder, we'll do the countdown, and if you're locked in by then, you can get it for 2 points. If not, you will hear the multiple choice options. But you verbally have to say locked in, so there's no confusion. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, neither of them lock in, so for 1 point, read them their multiple choice options. Jake?
Is it A, Jackson Pollock, B, Vincent van Gogh, C, Pablo Picasso, or D, Claude Monet?
If you've made it to this far in the video, you obviously know that one of these were mentioned in the previous match, and that makes that kind of hilarious. So, is that the answer? Is that just a coincidence? Who knows? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Malcolm, which letter or name did you write down for 1 point?
Pablo Picasso.
And Max?
No idea. I wrote Claude Monet.
We have a tie game. It is actually Pablo Picasso. 5-5. Question number 2. What animated animal is featured in the opening credits of That Lady Eve?
The Lady Eve.
Oh, The Lady Eve. You're right. Shout out Zach Ford. This is in his top 100, and it's actually ironic. When I was watching the top 100, I started watching this movie, and then I fell asleep, and then it wasn't on TCM anymore. Then I renewed my subscription to Criterion Channel, and it was on there. And instead of just picking up where I left off, I started it over, and I enjoyed this movie. So, long story short, Zach is not crazy for having this in his top 100. Neither of them are locked in. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, your multiple choice options for 1 point. Is it A, tiger, B, snake, C, earthworm, or D, lamb? I love when Malcolm makes a face like that, like, shit, I knew that. Did you, though? I love that. Was it between 2? Because that was round 1.
Well, yeah, I didn't know it, but I was going to guess this one.
Oh, that makes it fun. That's actually... I don't remember which match I was watching recently, but there was one. I'm like, I only have one guess here, so you might as well go for it. 2 points, and then it was the answer. I'm like, damn it, I should have went for that. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Max, what do you got?
Tiger?
And Malcolm.
Snake.
We have a new leader, and it is in fact Malcolm. It was a snake.
Eve maybe would have been the giveaway there if you haven't seen it.
You know. Adam.
That's what I was going to guess that.
Context clues, y'all. Question number 3, Jake.
What year is most of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood set in?
See, that's another. I love that you've worded it this way, because this is something where it's like, we're not trying to trick you, but
Locked in.
Okay.
Locked in.
Ooh, they're both locked in for 2, so I guess I don't get to finish what I was saying. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. For 2 points, Malcolm.
1969.
And for 2 points, Max.
And to that I say, nice. 1969.
It is, in fact, nice. I would actually prefer 1969s right now. And since there's only 3 of you here, I think we need to get more on this call. Question number 4. Man, we're getting wild with this one. If we're going to do a triple threat, a double, and then a double, it's going to get wild. Question number 4. As a wink to the 1977 Incredible Hulk TV series, what is the name of Bruce Banner's father in Ang Lee's Hulk? I tip my cap to you, Jake. This was a well-written, worded, and devised question. Fantastic.
Locked.
Are you Ivan Locke, also known as Tom Hardy? Shout out the 3 and Out podcast with when we talked about isolation movies. Max, were you locked? I was talking. I didn't hear you.
No.
Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep your integrity, Malcolm. And the options for Max for 1 point. Is it A, David Banner, B, Luke Banner, C, Christopher Banner, or D, Bobby Banner? So one of two things here. One of the answers that we read, Malcolm has written down, or he has one hell of a poker face because he did not budge. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Malcolm for 2 points.
David Banner.
And Max for 1 point.
No, I wrote Luke Banner.
It is in fact David Banner. So Malcolm goes up 10-7. That was a huge swing right there. Jake, what do they got for their 5th question in round 2?
What classic movie is The Two Jakes a sequel to?
I love when Max does his whole hip
Locked.
up.
Locked in. Woo!
He's like, I got one. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Max.
Chinatown.
And Malcolm.
Chinatown.
Forget it, Jake. It's Chinatown. Oh, wait. Am I talking to my host or am I quoting the movie? Man, sometimes you just win in all aspects of life, and that was a banger right there. Your final question in round 2, with the score currently 12-9. Who plays Steve Jobs in Jobs? Jake,
Locked.
if you ever had a job, would you play yourself?
Locked and loaded.
No, I think I'd have Henry Cavill play me.
I
I
mean,
think he could really pull off my whole vibe.
I think he might have to do a couple more push-ups in order to pull off your physique, but I think he is on the right path. 5, 4, 3, 2. Just don't replace him at the last minute. Oh, poor guy. Max, what do you got?
Ashton Kutcher.
And Malcolm.
Ashton Kutcher.
Did you, when you wrote this question, did you think someone might write Fassbender, Jake?
I probably would. I don't know. I mix these two up all the time. That's why.
I mean, there's
that's
only
why I
one
put
word
it.
difference. Yeah, there's only one word difference here. All right, so with that said, we're going into round 3. Malcolm is up 14 to Max's 11. And as we hinted in the first match, we looked into your letterboxes and we wrote some questions. Unfortunately for Max, he only watched 3 movies that weren't 2020 or 2021, so he's gonna get the same movies. So it is what it is. Usually we don't have 3 matches in a row like this, so it's the anomaly. And Malcolm, you're gonna have different movies, so that is what it is. We just have to accept that. You're getting a second chance. So I figured I'd get that out of the way now, so there's no weirdness going in there. And once again, Jake wrote these questions. Jake, do you want to ask Malcolm's or Max's questions? You wrote them. I'll let you pick.
Sure. I'll pick. I'll read Max's questions.
All right, go ahead. Remember, the first one's the 1 point, second one's a 2, and third is worth 3.
All right, Max. You ready?
Sure.
In AI, artificial intelligence, what does Teddy have that allows David's mother to be recreated?
Oh, her hair. The strand of her hair.
That is correct. I would have personally just accepted hair, but you did actually specifically say what was on the dock, a strand of her hair, and I think that's what Jake's snap was. He's like, that's what I was looking for. I would have accepted just generally hair, but go ahead and hit
I
him
was
with
looking
the 2.
for like final answer, but yeah.
Okay. Go ahead for his 2.
So, what is the name of the play that wins the Ducks their final game in Mighty Ducks?
I wonder if this was actually in the first movie.
Yeah. I remember, but I don't really remember now.
That was more of a wink at the camera because the audience isn't gonna know the reference, and it was just a little behind the scenes just for us having fun with each other. 5.
It's a penalty shot.
No, I was looking for the Flying V.
Ah, yeah, that's right, the Flying V.
Also known what some people in the fan community if they rode in a plane. Your final question. Go ahead and hit them, Jake. This is to take the lead and to stay alive.
The final question is... One moment. Your final question is, who plays Dutch-American abstract expressionist artist Willem de Kooning in Pollock?
Val Kilmer.
BAM! Hit him with the dagger to stay alive and to force Malcolm to either hit his 2 or his 3 or at least his 1 to stay alive. So, Max, that's how you stay persistent. That's not the right word there, but that's what I'm rolling with. So, Malcolm, are you ready?
Yep.
Who directed Waking Life?
Richard Linklater.
That is correct. It's one of those where you might have watched it, not known why. I looked and I saw that you didn't do a Linklater watch, so I thought maybe you just happened to watch it and you didn't pay attention. So congratulations there. All right, Malcolm. Here's the deal. You just tied it up, and now you have to just hit one of these 2 questions to take the lead and to play Brian for the finals. So, in Quiz Show, what profession does Dick Goodwin have?
Lawyer?
And that is correct. We are going to be going to the finals with Malcolm and Brian. Max, I'll give you a quick little once-over just because, unfortunately, we're kicking you the hell out of here. Overall, what were your thoughts on just the concept of the second chance tournament within one show? How do you feel about potentially having to record 3 in total, but at least doing 2? And what are your thoughts on, coming back for the next one?
Yeah, no, it's cool. I like the letterbox game, the letterbox thing, because it's kind of like studying, but it's not really studying because you just watched you just watched the movie like yesterday or like 2 days ago. So that's cool.
Exactly. Exactly. It's something personal to you, but it's also it's not you're not wasting your time. You just happen to watch it, and now we're gonna ask you about it.
Yeah. It's like, I watched that movie. Okay, yeah, sure. Ask me a question.
Exactly. All right, so we're gonna see you in the next tournament with a haircut, probably.
Sure. Well, yeah, in 2 days, so for sure.
There you go. All right, guys. So that was the loser bracket match. Now we are going to go to the official championship featuring Malcolm and Brian right now. And we are in the final match of A, tonight, and B, this tournament, or the very first Total Recall tournament here on There Will Be Trivia on There Will Be Movies, but also the very first match, or technically the third match now at this point, with the new format. So if you made it this far in the video, go ahead and let us know what you think of the new format, what you think of these performances, and what you think of these drawn-out videos. It's going to be about the hour range, but you're getting 3 matches worth. Sometimes you get a little more bang for your buck. So with that said, we can go right into it. So it is the championship, but because we had to write 3 matches in a row, we're not going to add rounds for this one. In the future, I probably will, just because that's something I've always been a fan of. But for this one, it's going to just be the same format of it's between 2, locked in, and recency bias, or the letterbox creeper, whatever I want to word it. So the letterbox lookout, maybe? I don't know. We'll come up with a name. So with that said, Brian, how does it feel to be back and to be unmuted knowingly this time? We won't say what that means, but.
Yeah, I had a nice little break. Went and got a sweatshirt because it's freezing in my basement right now. Yeah, I'm curious to play Malcolm. I don't think I've ever played him before, except maybe in a classic or something.
And Malcolm, I don't want to sound assumptuous here, but I watch a lot of matches. Have you ever been in a quote unquote championship or finals match like this before, or is this technically a big deal to you?
I'm pretty sure this is the first time I've been in any kind of finals whatsoever.
And I take credit for that. No, I'm just kidding. Malcolm did all the work. Fantastic.
She got that police lineup he was in.
Yeah, he was definitely number one there.
I mean, Tony Hill's already broken everyone's brackets because he took out Kirk's.
You ain't lying. So yeah, we got Tony taking out Kirk. We got Malcolm in the finals. Anything can happen here on There Will Be Trivia. When they say in the fan leagues or in the leagues in general, anything can happen. Here, we truly mean it. So Jake, you're back. Are you ready to answer some questions on technically a championship?
Yeah, no, I'm having a great time. I like to take credit for Malcolm being in a championship. If it weren't for my weird questions, apparently, Malcolm, you're welcome.
Everyone's trying to take credit except Malcolm. I like that. All right, so with that said, round one, it's this or that. I will go ahead and read the first one, and then Jake 2, and then back and forth. Gentlemen, are you ready?
Yep.
All right, question number 1. In Platoon, Big Harold is played by Forrest Whitaker or Keith David? I just watched this for the first time last night, and spoiler alert, I didn't really care. I don't hate it as much as Brian. I think he gave it 2.5, but
I don't hate it. I honestly at this point barely remember it, but
so 2.5 is not hate from Brian. 5,
2.5 is just like,
3, 2. It's rotten, guy. You got it. Matt is 3. Malcolm, what do you got?
Forrest Whitaker.
And Brian.
I say Keith David.
One of you is correct, and it is Forrest Whitaker. Malcolm takes a lead, and Brian, you're not going to be flirting with any perfect rounds here, bud. Question number 2,
no
Jake,
pressure.
take it away. Under pressure.
What actor played the bomb specialist who goes inside the suit at the start of The Hurt Locker? Was it Chris Pine or Guy Pearce?
All right, Jake, real quick. Who's your favorite Chris? Who's your favorite guy?
Chris?
Spoiler alert. Any guy can be anyone in the entire world who's technically a guy, and Chris, it's narrowed down to Hollywood 5. But we'll ask you that later.
It's
5,
gotta be
4,
gotta be
3,
Pine.
2, 1. Brian.
Guy Pearce.
And Malcolm.
Guy Pearce.
That is correct. That was more of a joke.
And your favorite?
No, you got to understand. The bit was I asked you a question, then I didn't let you answer, and we just moved on. It was.
I did answer.
Well, I tried to not let you answer. That was the bit, and then you
Henry?
did not go with it.
Henry, who's your favorite Chris?
Question number 3.
Okay, the next question. Yeah,
There you go.
okay.
See, you're learning. You're learning.
Are you gonna ask that? Oh, yeah. Okay. Dave Chappelle has the nickname Diamond Dog or Pinball in Con Air.
I wanted to mix it up this time. I do 1, you do 2, I do 1. Plus, I forgot whose turn it was, and now it's on me. Because we did all that riffing back and forth, and I totally just lost track of time. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Malcolm.
Diamond Dogs.
And Brian.
I was literally watching this movie when I stopped to do this match. Pinball.
Are you sure he's not a pine ball? Shout out Mike Kalinowski. Tie game. As the creator of the Corruption Group page, I'm allowed to make that joke. Question number 4. Who directed Me, Myself, and Irene? Was it the Farrelly brothers or the Zucker brothers? Fun little question. You a big Me, Myself, Irene fan over there, Jake?
I have more of a relationship to the cutout of Jim Carrey that sat in the Blockbuster than the actual movie.
The actual poster.
He had a little.
Yeah.
He had a little split on him where it was like, this guy.
But did he have?
You know?
Oh, I thought you said you had a relationship with it. That's weird.
Yes.
So the split was caused by you. 5, 4, 3.
We still
2,
text.
1. Malcolm.
Farrelly brothers.
And Brian.
Those cardboard cuts will hurt, man. Farrelly brothers.
That's why I usually stick to my leather couch. Question number 5. Go ahead, Jake.
Oh. All right. Who stars in Idiocracy? Is it Owen Wilson or Luke Wilson?
It's one of those times where when you write so many questions for a match back to back to back, you don't care if a name is being said. This is like the 3rd time now we've said someone's name more than once or referenced something more than once. Hey, it is what it is. And all different movies. Fun fact. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Brian
Luke.
and Malcolm.
Luke Wilson.
Oh man, I wanted to hear Malcolm's impression again. Your
I
sixth
wasn't
question.
there for that.
Yeah, sorry. Your sixth
Nah.
question in round 1, with the score currently 4-4. True or false? LeBron James appeared in Trainwreck. Now this is a double. You have to know who LeBron James is. You have to triple. You have to know what the movie is, and then you have to know, was this person in fact in the movie or not. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. True or false, Malcolm?
True.
And Brian.
True.
Ooh, a bunch of trues over here. So, fun fact, real quick tangent here. I had Dom write me a question back in There'll Be Trivia a few years ago, and he wrote a true or false question. And when we heard it, we were like, "What the fuck?" Because it's just never been asked before, and I was in the old format of just the regular 8 questions in round 1. We're like, "What the hell are you doing?" He was like, "I don't know. I just thought it would be cool." So now it's funny that it's all come full circle, and now it's potentially in the round every time. So with that said, it is 5-5, and we're going into round 2. And it's the locked in. So just a reminder, you have to say verbally out loud you lock in. If not, the countdown, you will just automatically hear the multiple choice, and you will only be eligible for 1 point. So I will read 1, Jake will read 2, and we'll actually do it right this time. Question number 1. What actor plays Frank in 28 Days Later?
Just a fun behind the scenes fact. Henry wrote this question as 28 hours later and said that's fine because it's not weeks.
I mean, it's true. Let's just, real quick, if you heard 28 hours later, are you just going to assume it's days, or you're going to be like, maybe it's weeks? Like, hours is technically closer to days. 5.
Can I get a repeat question? I actually just want to know if you said days or weeks.
It is days. It is days.
Days, okay.
Sorry. Yeah.
5.
I'm locked in.
Ooh,
I'll
locked in. Oh, they're both locked in. Uh-oh. Malcolm for 2 points.
Robert Carlyle.
And Brian.
I don't know the characters. I guess Cillian Murphy.
Looking for Brendan Gleeson. Brendan Gleeson. Fun fact, all the multiple choice were Harry Potter actors. So initially I was going to write which Harry Potter actor, but since you're guaranteed potentially I decided it'd be more fun to be a little more vague. Question number 2, Jake.
What was being delivered to Pickford's house, which gave away that he was throwing a party in Dazed and Confused?
I think this is one of those good examples of, if you know it, you're going to know it right away, and if you know it, but it's on the tip of your tongue when you hear it, you're going to know it. But up until then, if you don't know it, then you know what I mean? It's one of those where it's like, yeah, that makes sense. Or that works for me, or whatever. Or if you don't even have no idea, then thank God we have multiple choice.
Yeah, you might be mad if you didn't get it, and then you're like,
Yeah.
huh?
Locked in, anybody?
I'm locked.
Multiple choice.
All right. Multiple choice options, Malcolm. Hit them, Jake, after your chug.
Your multiple choice options are A, a keg, B, a cake, C, a hot tub, or D, a limo. These are good multiple choice options too. It could really be any of these if you haven't seen the movie.
Exactly. Especially with they're all party related, and they're all, whatever. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Brian for 2 points.
I did say beer keg.
Since you have keg. Keg was important. And then Malcolm.
Keg.
It is keg. All right, so we have a 1 point lead now. Brian is at 7 to Malcolm 6. Question number 3. Who plays Kane's father in Menace to Society?
I always get these movies mixed up.
I don't even go into that, Brian. We're just gonna.
I'm gonna go multiple.
Yeah.
All right, they're just gonna go ahead and lock in multiple choice now. Save some time. Is it A, Lawrence Fishburne, B, Forrest Whitaker, C, Denzel Washington, or D, Samuel L. Jackson? I'm glad I finally watched this because this was released on the day of the year of my birth, '93, and I was like, it's one of the blind spots because it's one of those things where you want to watch all the movies from the year you were born so you can have a genuine list. And I have, like Schindler's List is the best for my year, but other than that, it's kind of like interesting. Like, how do I want to, navigate it? Obviously, Groundhog Day is one of the worst, and then in between, it's like can't really decide. 5,
What?
4, 3,
That's a crazy opinion.
1.
Just sneak that in.
Yeah, Malcolm.
Samuel Jackson.
And Brian.
I said A.
It is Samuel Jackson. We're tied back up.
Yeah, I was thinking, I know it's probably definitely not false scripted. There will be 2 false scripted questions in the same match.
You never know. Question number 4, Jake.
Who does Niki Lauda drive for in Rush?
Multiple choice for me.
Yeah, multiple choice.
All right, go ahead and hit him with that, Jake.
Is it A, Ford, B, Ferrari, C, Lamborghini, or D, GM?
I would probably drive for Huffy if I, was hired for a movie. Huffy would probably be my that's the only thing I'm eligible. That's the best I can do. 5, 4, 3, 2. That's the first
very
one.
Time extension.
Time extension. Okay, that was the
Actually,
first.
I'm done now. Go ahead.
Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Brian.
I'm sure I just changed it from the right answer. I guess D.
And Malcolm.
I went Ferrari.
One of you is correct. And it's Malcolm for the lead. 8-7. It's Ferrari.
At least it's not the one I erased. Then I would have been mad.
What did you erase?
I said Lamborghini. I had no idea.
Okay. Question number 5. Who directed 2012's Les Mis?
Lock.
Yep, same.
What? Malcolm's locked on this? I'm pretty sure this came up on a Rankum at some point. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Malcolm.
Tom Hooper.
And Brian.
Tom Hooper.
You sure it wasn't Toby Hooper? Wouldn't that be a different movie? Jake hit him with their last question in round 2.
Who voices the monster in A Monster Calls?
Lock.
Sir, you cannot say lock before you finish writing, all right? We don't need no cockiness going on here.
Lock.
There you go. Lock, stock, and 2 smoking barrels. Was that the finger, sir? You're in timeout. 5.
Back it, I'm going to lock.
Ooh, you are? You said you are locking in, Malcolm, just to be clear?
Yep.
3, 2, 1. All right, Malcolm, to extend your lead.
Liam Neeson.
And Brian.
Say it right. It's Liam Neeson's.
Yeah, we'll say it however we want to say it.
It's Neeson, yes.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of joking about whatever you want if there's some sort of joke to it. We're not going to get into that type of stuff. So with that said, we're going to go into round 3 of this championship match in the Total Recall tournament of There Will Be Trivia. We have Brian Michaels versus Malcolm Goldie Lay. And if you just tuned in right now, you might be surprised that Malcolm has a 1-point lead on Brian. So, we are going to go into this with Brian's 1-point question, and I will read for Brian. Malcolm, you can be read by Jake. Brian. To tie it up. Who plays George Stone, also known as Giuseppe, in The Untouchables?
That would be Andy Garcia.
And that would be a tie game. So we're going to go to Malcolm's 1-point question, and I'll let Jake figure out which one it is, which is why, because we had some behind-the-scenes issues with the doc. So, Jake, make sure you get the right 1-point question.
I got it. Malcolm.
Should I whisper the answers in the background?
You probably should not.
Okay.
Leave your whispers in the dark.
Can I go now?
I think so.
Okay. Which comedic actor plays 3 roles in Fanboys?
Seth Rogen.
That is correct.
Damn. Oh god, I'm nervous. This is great. I don't know why. There's just something about this that just makes my nipples hard or something. Question 2.
Too much information.
Welcome to There Will Be Trivia, y'all. What kind of food does Ian dress up as for his job in Sex Drive?
It's a donut.
That is correct. Are you working the mouth, Brian?
Sorry, it's a habit.
For the lead, by the way, that was huge. Now this is going to be interesting. Jake?
Malcolm. In the theatrical cut of Alien 3, what animal does a quadrupedal alien burst from?
Sheep.
Ooh, I was looking for a dog. The answer was a dog.
So, now it is going down to Malcolm's final question of the night regardless. If he hits this, he forces Brian to answer. If not, Brian will win. Jake? Take it away.
Okay. In Martha, Marcy, May, Marlene, where does the name Marlene come from?
This is one of those we'll say that there's an answer, and as long as you're in the ballpark of the answer, you know what I mean? We're not looking for something to trip you up. There's an answer. You guys, if you guys are familiar with anything I do, you know what I mean by that.
Congratulations, Brian. I don't think I've got this. Orphanage.
Brian Michaels is the winner of the number 2 tournament here, and There Will Be Trivia, the first official Total Recall tournament. What is the answer, Jake?
It is the code name that the women in the cult use to answer the phone.
Brian Michaels, what are your thoughts? This is one of those things where when I first concepted this idea, it just was meant to be super fun, nonchalant. But I've noticed now that at the end of the second tournament that people are taking it a little more seriously, not in a bad way, but just more seriously, you know, prestigious-wise, that it like actually means something and that it actually has some value to it. How does it feel to have won the second one?
That was close, you know, and Malcolm. I mean, Malcolm. If you watch like his Facebook feed and stuff like that, he's been doing his work, watching tons of movies over the last year or two, and so he's come a long way and improved. So I'm hats off to Malcolm. I just got lucky that he missed that Alien 3 question, which I already actually like Alien 3, so now I have another reason to like it. Yeah, this is a lot of fun.
There we go. And Malcolm, now that you heard the answer to your question, did it ring a bell, or was it one of those where you're like, ah, crap, I kind of regret watching that movie now?
Yeah, no, like, as soon as he said it, like, oh, yeah, that's right. Just one of those ones, like, quite often when you only got 15 seconds to think of the answer, it's one of those ones I could have used an extension if I wanted to, but I was like, I don't think I would have gotten it in a bit. But like, some movies like resonate more for me, others it comes to memory. Some of them I need to take notes to do it because Martha, whatever the title is, because
this is funny. Henry, can you explain this?
All right, so real quick, Jake literally wrote a question about that movie, and in the movie it was pretty much just name the title, please, because if you can get the name of that title right, I'll give you a point, because that's just a weird title, and you wouldn't have been able to technically, so it actually might have been a good question.
It was the highest point question because I'm like, no one remembers the title of this movie.
But Malcolm,
Brian, can you name the title of that movie?
Martha, Marcy, May, Marlene.
For 3 points, Malcolm.
Malcolm.
So Malcolm, this is arguably regardless of the level of the show, this is one of the higher moments you've had finish wise. How do you feel knowing that, as Brian alluded to, that you've really improved over the last year or two, and in general your performance is showing it? Obviously in your last match that was posted, it wasn't quite the showing that we've been seeing from you generally speaking, but other than that you've been doing really well. So how do you feel, and are you ready for the next one?
I'm definitely ready for the next one. I've been doing this sort of thing since it first started way back in the dark ages.
Exactly.
And it's just one of those ones, especially over the last couple of years, I've decided to start challenging myself. And every day of the week, I'll try and watch at least one movie that I've never seen before. I do tend to rewatch some as well. There's been definitely some times in which life have found a way to just maybe really busy. Sometimes I end up rewatching something and then realizing later, oh shit, I didn't actually watch something new. So I was but it's just one of those ones that.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
That's a good strategy to have. So, Jake, what were your thoughts on hosting these last 2 matches with us, and did you have some fun watching and being a part of it?
Oh yeah, I had a blast. It's been a lot of fun, and all 3 of you guys have been paramount in welcoming me to this community. So I just want to thank all 3 of you. Really, you've all been so kind.
Absolutely. So that means a lot. So with that said, if you made it to this far into the video, that means not only did you watch this match, but you watched 2 other matches leading up to it, and that really means a lot. I might have it linked or, time-stamped or whatever, so you can, jump around if you really want to be picky. But regardless, if you made it this far in the video, I appreciate it. It means a lot to me. Go ahead and drop a like if you really want to. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, that would just mean a lot. We're really trying to grow and build this, because I started a new podcast called 3 and Out, which is going to be our weekly live show. And I'm bringing back the Against Grain podcast. Just the only reason it's been delayed is just because of scheduling. Nothing any doubt in the show or that. So that's going to be coming back. So with that said, I am Henry Confidential. That was Jake Cruikshank. That is Malcolm Goldilay, and that is Brian Michaels. We really appreciate you. And shout out to Sandy Salmon Robinson and Max Vincent for being here earlier. It means a lot to me, and I can't wait for the next tournament. I already have a list of names, and I'm ready to start scheduling and all that stuff now already. So Henry Confidential, there will be movies, there will be trivia. We are out.